to just bring people over. Now, if people can get here on their own and support themselves, or get here and find a job, or find families to sponsor them, if somebody wanted to set something up like that, sponsor a family to come over or anything like that. But now people are all freaking out and, well, these people are going to come here and there's going to be a terrorist attack, and which, if there's a terrorist attack, it's because the United States government wanted there to be a terrorist attack, and they were probably behind it in the first place. So that's not a worry of mine. I'm not worried about anybody from fucking ISIS. Maybe over there where people are disarmed, I guess the people that they're going after and things like that, then maybe it's easy, I guess, to, and this sounds fucked up, it's easy to go after women and kids like the little bitches they are. I'm talking about ISIS, the little bitches they are, not the women and the kids. So what I'm saying is, I wouldn't be scared of ISIS, number one, because I think it's a bunch of bullshit where the CIA is running them anyway. So they're going to do what the CIA wants them to do, which will keep them. If they bring any ISIS people over, it's because they wanted to bring them over as well. And maybe they do, and maybe they will have them do something. I don't know. But as far as being afraid, I wouldn't be any more afraid of somebody from ISIS than I would be afraid of anybody else on the street. There's a lot more dangerous people in the U.S. than ISIS people. Plus, I have ways of protecting myself. Okay, so pull out a fucking sword and I'll blow your fucking face off. I mean, it's this whole panic over that. There's a lot of things that I could see people panicking from, a lot that the government is doing, but it's really the U.S. government that you should be afraid of, or you should be panicking over, not refugees. And there is something to be said again about the money aspect of it, because that really, I can understand that, and I agree with that. I don't think anybody should be spending, any government should be spending money to bring people over. That, that's on them, but they shouldn't be stopping them neither. But I've been talking for an hour straight. So I will take a quick break, because I'm sure everybody's so excited after listening to me for an hour. I know you just want to keep listening, but we'll take a break here, and we'll be back after this. NonPartisanLibertyForall.com. Again, if you'd like to call in, 702-470-7664, and Skype at Nonpartisan Liberty for All, one word, username, just send a contact request. All this information also is on the website, NonPartisanLibertyForall.com, on the homepage and the Contact Us page as well. You have all the contact information there to contact the show and call in. So we'll be back. Go check us out at NonPartisanLibertyForall.com.
This is Gradowski of WeAreChange.org reporting to you here in Miami, Florida. I need to make a very important video because after studying U.S. foreign policy for the past 15 years, I believe we are finally at the breaking point of the U.S. empire. If you look at what's been happening globally, we have countries like Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Russia recently make an intelligence pact sharing information together to destroy ISIS. As we know, Russia has started bombing ISIS inside of Syria with the assistance of the Chinese government and the Chinese military. The breaking point now comes with Germany. Angela Merkel recently made a statement saying that Assad needs to be a part of the conversation. Commentators and journalists are describing this statement as groundbreaking. Approaching Assad would be an about-face in the way of the West in dealing with Syria. With Germany making a stance against U.S. foreign policy, France is most likely to make a very similar decision very soon. You look globally at these two opposing forces. We have Turkey, Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar with the United States, which have directly and indirectly supported the growth of ISIS going up against Iran, Iraq, Syria, Russia, China, Germany, and soon to be France. This is an extremely dangerous situation because Israeli fighter jets that have been bombing Assad and helping ISIS are still flying in Syria, and Russia is threatening to shoot them down. Russian fighter jets have actually invaded Turkish airspace. This is causing a very extreme, dangerous situation that could break out into a world war possibility between these two major factions. Now, why are all these countries turning against U.S. foreign policy? Well, Russian airstrikes within the past 24 hours have targeted 4 command centers, a jihad training center, a workshop producing suicide belts, and 3 army depots within just 24 hours. The Russians are now saying, according to Alexis Pushkov, the head of the Russian Parliament Internal Affairs Committee, is saying the U.S.-led coalition spent a whole year pretending that they were striking ISIS targets. But what are the results of these strikes? And he's right. Within the past 13 months, the U.S. government and the military have been supposedly bombing ISIS. What has happened within those 13 months? ISIS grew to its strongest possibility that it could ever be, gaining millions of dollars from Turkey and Saudi Arabia by selling off the oil that they are stealing, and they are the most powerful that they have ever been when the United States was supposed to be bombing them. There's even bombshell reports saying that the Pentagon refused to bomb ISIS training centers, but now the Russian are, and the world leaders are asking, what the hell has been happening here? Even General Wesley Clark, former head of the NATO command, said that ISIS was started through the funding from our friends and our allies, and he is 100% right. Reuters even reported how Syrian-trained rebels that the U.S. government gave intelligence to, weapons and arms to, gave those weapons and arms and intelligence and trucks to al-Nusra, the al-Qaeda front fighting in Syria against Assad. The United States in this situation is saying that Russia is horrible. They're inflicting civilian casualties. And then the next day, the U.S. coalition bombs a hospital in Afghanistan. A Doctors Without Borders hospital, killing doctors, killing children, killing innocent men and women who are there for treatment. And now the Russians are saying, look at the two strategies here. Russia is destroying ISIL training camps that the U.S. refused, while the U.S. is bombing a hospital in Afghanistan. And the world leaders are going against the United States because of these very important geopolitical moves. Now, with the bombing of the hospital, of course, there was major media reports saying that it was the Taliban that did this bombing. U.S. reports were so vague, no one could even figure out who bombed this hospital, and people were making the assertion that it was the Taliban. Then the U.S. coalition responded saying that the hospital was a Taliban base. Doctors Without Borders had to respond saying no, that wasn't the case in any way, shape, or form. CNN and the New York Times are obscuring who actually caused this massacre in Afghanistan. With these insane forces just trying to lie to us every single day, financing, funding, training ISIS, pretending to bomb them. The world is turning against the United States. Now, what's going to happen because of this? I don't know. But at least you know what's happening now, because the mainstream media won't tell you in any way, shape, or form that the U.S. even committed a horrible crime. For 2 years, around 2 years now, on this YouTube channel, we've been telling you the U.S. is training ISIS. The U.S. major goal when it comes to Syria is to get rid of Assad, because Assad is the one who broke down and disagreed with the pipelines from Saudi Arabia that was going to go through Turkey and bypass Russia and have Europe dependent on Saudi Arabian oil. The geopolitics of this whole region is totally screwed up. And now we're stuck in this quagmire with these two major forces facing off against each other. Where this is going to lead, I have no idea. But hell, at least you know what's happening now. If you're interested in doing this and making this your job, reporting the truth to the people, check out Change Media University. It's free for high school students. We teach you on an online college course how to be an independent journalist, how to fact check this. All the sources to this video will be in the description below. Prove me wrong. And if you found this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more coming to you on this channel on youtube.com.
It sounds like there's a chainsaw in the background.
Thank you again so much for watching.
Someday, people will look back on 9/11, and sure, they will see.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying that there was it sounded like there was a chainsaw going on in the background, and I like We Are Change's work and Luke Radowski's work. How old is he? Because I thought he was like 30, and he said he's been studying foreign policy for 15 years. Maybe he's talking about like high school and shit. But anyway, sorry. Back to the break. This is a clip from Howard Zinn, and then we will be back.
It as the first terrible act of terrorism committed in the United States, by some foreign group. But they may also see 9/11 as the beginning of the disintegration of the American empire. Because from 9/11 came the war on terrorism, so-called, the bombing of Afghanistan, and then now the war on Iraq. And the bloating of the American military machine and the war budget, and the deprivation of civil liberties, and I believe that it will be a victory in the short run and a defeat for the American government in the long run, and that defeat should be welcomed. We need a regime change in the United States. We need democracy. We need a government that's peaceable. We need a government that will take the enormous resources that the United States has, and instead of using it for war, use it for, human needs. For millions of people are dying in Africa. I mean, this is the remarkable thing about this war in Iraq. Here's the President of the United States drawing a line around this tiny country and saying all evil rests there, as if there are no problems elsewhere. As if there aren't millions of people going hungry, sick, 1 billion people in the world without clean water. The United States should be working on that. They shouldn't be killing, they should be helping and healing. So yes, we need a regime change in the United States. We need something that will make American people proud. You can't be proud of a military victory over Iraq. You can't be proud of spending the resources of the government for more military weapons. So I think the American empire is on its way down, and that will be a good thing one day.
From Promoting the ideas of true freedom and liberty, Nonpartisan Liberty for All Radio with Dave Bourne.
And I am Dave Bourne, and this is Nonpartisan Liberty for All. Please feel free to call in with your comments. 702-470-7664 is the phone number. If you could send a text first and let me know your name and where you're from, that would be